What is going on, guys? It's Trader Cause. I'm super excited to bring you this video. We have some incredibly bullish news that I want to talk to you about, as well as do a market review. I guess we can call it a technical analysis review on Bitcoin, Ethereum, Litecoin LINK. We can look at Sushi and Dot as well. I have positions in all of those. I took some profit on LINK, tweeted about that earlier. If you guys want to see my Twitter updates, you can follow me at Trader Cause, but I'll try and do videos every day or every other day to kind of get market reviews out for you guys. If you're not already, please hit that subscribe button. Help me grow this YouTube channel, and it would help out a lot with the YouTube algo. And if you want to see more crypto content, hit the bell notifications, because I've heard that YouTube kind of gatekeeps crypto content, so you have to let people know if that is content you want to see. So let's jump right into it. This is the super bullish news that I'm talking about. Basically, one single wallet bought 111,600 Bitcoin, which is just an enormous purchase. That's about $5.3 billion with a B of Bitcoin. If you guys remember, back over here, this entire pump was when Elon Musk and Tesla bought $1.5 billion of Bitcoin. So this current transaction that we just saw is roughly 3.5 times as big as the Tesla one. So I don't know if this is a Fortune 500 company. I don't know if it's a single institution, but I'm sure we will hear more at some point. The main idea is someone is buying insane amounts of Bitcoin at these levels. People are getting their average buy-in with billions of dollars in the high 40,000s. So that is really good news, because that protects all of us that are in from deeper, because these people who have billions on billions of dollars probably don't want to be underwater for too long. So I kind of expect them to protect their entry. I'm kind of surprised that they didn't buy on this dip. I don't know if that had anything to do with it. But yeah, apparently their average buy-in was around 48K, which is this orange line. So I don't know if that means they bought some up here and here. I don't know if it means that the transaction all happened at the exact same time or what. But I do know that it is incredibly bullish, and the charts are showing the same thing. So let's jump into the technical analysis portion of the video. We were looking for a pullback to take out these lows. It barely front ran my 4-hour demand level that we were watching, and also the range low from this range. Not the end of the world. We got filled on quite a few altcoin setups, and so I'm not too worried about that, but I guess it would have been nice to get some Bitcoin fills as well. Since then, we have been pushing up, and we're breaking back inside this old range. This was the small range that we had on top of the big one, and I said if we can get back in this and price find some acceptance back in these levels, and by acceptance I mean not just spiking in and then breaking back down, then that would be a very bullish sign, and that would make me more confident that the low is in here. As far as setups go, I would probably wait for this range high to be flipped. I think that's the highest probability setup for Bitcoin. If we get back in here, maybe range around a little bit, whatever happens, once we break above this high, I would look for more leverage long positions. This isn't necessarily for spot trading. When I talk about trades that I'm taking, when I'm going long or short, those are leverage trades. And so it doesn't really matter to me exactly where the price is at, because we can make money anywhere if there's volatility in a setup. And so the reason I want to wait for it to get above this range high is because at that point, I believe the probability of it going much higher increases. So that's what we're looking for on Bitcoin. Ethereum, once again, my bids just barely got front ran on this one. A little bit of a bummer again, but it is what it is. We swept this low, and front ran this demand. Ethereum had some really impressive buyback though. Spiked up 10.5% to the highest point. We're starting to get rejected by this first point of interest that I have been keeping an eye on. It was the very first high we made here, and you can see it's been a relatively pivotal level. As with Ethereum, I think the highest probability setups are going to be above 1850. So I entered along during this run up right around here after it broke out from this little consolidation, and I've taken the majority of that trade off. I didn't post about that one because it was lower time frame, but right now we're at resistance, so I like to take profit at resistance, and then once we flip that resistance, we can enter back in and with more size. So Ethereum's looking good. The main ones I really wanted to talk about were Litecoin LINK. I guess those two, maybe a couple others, but ETH perp, ETH USD is looking good. ETH BTC is following our plan that I laid out in the video yesterday. This does look like an accumulation range to me. We had a low, high, we took out the highs, rejected from there a few separate times, came down, and we just swept the lows. I really would like to see this get above and hold above the mid-range. It's okay if it pulls back to here first and then gets above, and this mid-range has really great confluence with our weekly SR level. But even more confirmation for me will be once we flip the range high. So that's what we're looking for on Ethereum, and just so you guys know for reference, this is the weekly SR level that I am watching. I've said that in a few videos, but if you're new, this is the one. It was really strong resistance here, 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 as well as here. We broke above, started to bounce from it, dipped down again, and so that's kind of the level I would like to see us get back above. And that is at 0.0375, give or take a few sats. Now let's get to the even more interesting stuff. So Litecoin, really happy with this one. Bids filled pretty much perfectly. We took out this low into 8-hour demand. I laid out the reasoning behind this whole setup in my market review weekly outlook video yesterday. My targets are 225 and 250, and then 305, and then 420. That's further out though. So we'll just be looking to play the price action as it comes to us. It could dip back a little bit, but ultimately I'm going to try and take some profit around 225. Once we flip 225, I think the probability of Litecoin going to 250 increases dramatically because this has been a key resistance level. So once we get above that, I'll be looking to add more positions onto this and compound this long. But for now, I am just staying patient. I have a lot of flexibility because this entry worked out really well. So even a pullback here or there, I'm not going to get too worried because I'd still be very far from being underwater on it. So Litecoin looks really good. Link, I took profit on. The buyback here was incredible, 26% in half a day. Tagged our take profit perfectly. It was a similar setup as Litecoin. We had some lows, high time frame demand, sweep into it. I got a little nervous about this one watching it live because it just looked like this was dropping infinitely, but it held up well, pushed to the take profit, tagged it perfectly. I'd kind of like to see a range form here, maybe look to relong some if we get the range setup that I've talked about multiple times, and otherwise I will add on a new position once we get back above 34.88. But yeah, really happy with this one. Don't want to get too greedy. Took most of it off the table. I closed about 75% of this position. And the reason I did, that's not saying, oh, I think it's going to pull back, so I took off more than half of my position. It's just we're at resistance. I'd rather play it safe. There's no need to get greedy. And if it gets back above here, I can add that position back on. But at that point, I'm not worried about all the drawdown I have if something like this happens first. I just don't want to have to deal with that mentally. I don't love when I have a bunch of unrealized profit and I let it all go away on a pullback. So I take profit at resistance, I add back on the flip of it, because once we get above the resistance, it increases the probability of this pushing higher, and then I'll be targeting $40. So that's Litecoin, or sorry, that's Link. Both of these I talked about in the video. Sushi and Dot I did not talk about in the video, but they're pretty similar setups. I didn't get as good of entries on these because I took these setups more in the moment. I was scanning through altcoins that I really like, that are strong projects, because we just got the opportunity to buy at a 20% discount, basically, a little more, but depending on the pair. So I got some Dot at 25.5 and targets the range high. I like how, so the rejection here added more validity to the range than this retest, and now nice retest to the mid-range. So I'll take some off if we take out the range highs, and then look to add back on if we flip above those. Lastly, Sushi. I am very happy with this one. Sushi dumped 28% from the highs, and this buyback was the craziest I've seen pretty much across the board, over 40% in probably 12 hours or so. So this one was actually a really clean setup. We had these equal lows. I guess it could have been this one, but I think a lot of people had trailed their stops up to this point right here. Swept a bunch of those right into 12-hour demand, stop below it, and we've just been ripping ever since. I had this marked out with that high, so I didn't quite close it right there, but I took some profit around here, 17.5, basically where we're at right now, and I will trail my stop up with this one as we go, and maybe take a little bit more on the way. Ideally, I would like to see this high hold. Let me change this. There we go. You can see we had a nice rejection into it. We formed hourly demand. So pull back into there. I can add back to my long what I took off up here, because right now this did close as a sweep. And if you guys have been following me, you know I have a rule that if there's any hourly close that closes as a sweep, I have to take some profit off. It's just something I've kind of developed for myself, because too many times I've been like, oh, this is still bullish, I'm not gonna trim any off. So yeah, that's pretty much that. Kept it under 15 minutes, and we talked about 6 different coins as well as that super exciting bullish news. I will post another video if I find out anything more, but for now I think it's safe to say 48,000 is a level to keep an eye on, because I'm sure whoever did this wants to protect their entry a bit, and it's just good to see people spending billions of dollars on Bitcoin in the high 40Ks, because that means they see us going a lot higher, I see us going a lot higher, and if you've been in crypto for a while, your entry is much lower than 48K. So now we have big institutions, whales, high net worth individuals protecting our buy-ins, essentially. So really exciting time to be in crypto. If you guys could like the video, that'd be awesome, and comment what coins you would like me to cover in the next one. I'll talk to you guys soon.